Welcome to Great Overload. I'm Anthony, and I am really excited to take a look at Intel's Computex 2017 announcements and take a dive into the new processor that they announced. So let's dive in. Intel today pulls one out of left field and decides to announce an 18-core, 36-thread processor. They call it the i9 Extreme Edition, and they have a number with it as well too. I think it's like let's look here, the 7980 XE. So that's kind of interesting that they announced that processor. Kind of pulled it. I was not expecting an 18 core chip from Intel. I think AMD may have pushed them there, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful of that if that's the case. I think that it's a great ability to be able to go through and create a competition in a segment we haven't had competition in like 10 years, and now go through and be like, okay, here's ability. Let's start moving this market forward. So this chip is just insane. They're calling it a teraflop chip, CPU, I should say, and it supports the new Intel AVX 512 instruction set as well. The new Turbo Boost 3.0, and all these, this whole line does. And I'll get into the line a little bit here in a second, but I'm kind of, head over heels, kid in candy store, all about this CPU right now. Even though I might not buy it, I'm still excited of what is done for this market. They're going to move into a different socket, the LGA 2066 socket, and that's going to be using the X299 chipset, which has much more I/O and a lot of improved I/O capabilities as well. And they have 44 lanes up to 44 lanes of PCIe 3.0 Express lanes. I have to say up to, because they have some lower than that, because they did announce lines of i5, i7, and i9 in this socket type, and using this chipset of the X299. As you see here, you'll see the full die shot of the 18 core, which it's first counted 20, but I think that the two you'll see that are kind of slightly different. Those I think are part of the AVX 512. If anyone knows for sure, leave it in the comments. Let me know. Email me. I'll be more than happy to take a look. Tweet at me, whatever you guys want. The 4-channel memory support, which I think is a nice thing to have, especially for doing a lot of coding or whatever else, like high performance stuff that uses that extra couple channels, which is always a help as well. And Intel goes through some of that stuff too, as you see here in a little bit. I'll show you in a little bit with the table that they go through. But this processor and the whole line, Intel calls it the most scalable high-end desktop platform ever. And it's kind of true, because they start out with a 4-core, a 6-core, 8-core, 10-core, 12-core, 14-core, 16-core, and then the monstrous 18-core. And the 12-core, 14-core, 16-core, and 18-core will be released later this summer. It looks like they're still fine-tuning it. As you see in this whole table here, it's kind of not all filled in. And I think that they said, I didn't get a chance to fully watch the video yet, but they're still fine-tuning it. So it almost seems like they were caught a little bit on Threadripper and having 16 cores and 32 threads, which I'm perfectly okay with, that they were decided, hey, let's come out with this, because that is that's awesome. That's really sweet. I like it. As you know, I'm kind of really excited about this. So, but the 10 core is, I think, one of the major ones to look at, and that one's going to be coming out at $999, which, if you remember last generation, that was $1,700 for that processor. And this is a very big deal, because I was, where I work, we used a lot of 1600Ks, which were about 1100 at the time being sold last year and stuff. And that was only 8 cores, 16 threads. And this is just a whole new level of just being able to have that performance in that dollar amount and that much improvement year over year because of competition. I'm assuming competition. I'm assuming if AMD still wasn't in the game, Intel wouldn't have needed to go that far. But that is really, really a nice improvement, especially for Intel. It keeps the pressure on AMD and kind of keeps that way, as if AMD responds, it keeps the pressure on Intel, which benefits us consumers quite a bit. So as you can see here, there's a lot of specs through here. They start at about 112 watts for the i5 and go up to, we don't know yet, that's not announced. But they have a great price range all the way through, kind of something that fits everyone, especially if you want to get into some of the capabilities that this X299 platform has. So Intel's kind of focusing this on with, 4K gaming. They also have 12K gaming. So they say you can use it with 3 or 4 graphics cards because they have the extra PCI slots or PCI lanes on some of the processors that you can use. So that's really cool. And they're also doing content creation. The big thing about it for me is that I do content creation. I also do coding, and I want to be able to get through that stuff as fast as possible. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable as well. And I know that if we as coders as well, if you're coders out there, I know that if we can be able to code better for multiprocessor, because there's more multi-core processors out there, and be able to give people time back because of, we're doing a render or something like that, and they can be more productive with their day, that is a successful win for me as a developer, and I have many other developers out there as well. And this is also for modeling and other businesses that do that core heavy lifting stuff. And I think it's also a great time saver for them, right? If they are able to have a model that better represents the physical product and have less issues through production process, that's a huge win for a company. That's a huge win for the designer and quality control, everyone else through it. And it's beneficial for a company, beneficial for everyone else in the process. So I'm really excited about that. And that's a big thing for me, is to having that back. So as you go through here, there's a lot of other stuff that Intel announced with these. I encourage you to go look it out, look at some of the reviews as they come out. But I'm really excited about this. I do want to touch on quick that they announced a liquid cooler as well. They touched a little bit about, I think, on their 8th gen processor. I'm still going through all the data as well. But the next really big thing I'm excited about is the compute card, which is scheduled to begin shipping in August. And so that goes from the Celeron with 4 gig 64 eMMC storage and a wireless AC card. Then they also have a Pentium version. Then they have the i3, and then they go all the way up to the i5. 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gig SSD, also AC and Bluetooth. And I like these things a lot. They're a credit card size little device, as you see, very, very small, but you're able to put them into shells and have like a full-blown computer. You can take them with you if you want, move or something. It would be really cool for businesses, especially if you have different locations. You can take your computer with you, and it just moves, and you have all your data there, reconnects to all the main stuff, etc. But kind of for me, what I wanted to use it as is kind of like a little home project type thing, where I can go and I can use it connected to a TV or serve stuff off of it that's connected to like a Plex server or kind of disk station where stuff is stored on there, and it just is able to do just little tasks that use very little power, kind of replace my media center, and just see how well it performs. That's interesting to me. I think that these are a great product that are coming out, so I'm excited to see how Intel moves this forward. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for going through and leaving your comments below. I enjoy reading the comments. I'm excited to see as this channel is growing and how this channel is growing with you guys' support. So thank you again. Thanks for watching Gray Overload. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Gray Overload.